Hello and welcome to the GRADD Dialogue. This afternoon we're going to talk about a kind of unique project that has been under consideration and operation, and also through some great results with the Southwire aluminum. In not only in a facility in Hoswell, but also talking about the other locations as well. So today my guest is Donnie Sanders. Donnie is the operational manager at the Southwire Kentucky plant in Hoswell. He has been with the Southwire for 27 years, starting as a floor operator in 1989. Since then, he has had an opportunity to work his way through different levels of plant leadership in his current position. I think over the years, Donnie, you have been a leader in almost every department, every area of the industry, which is a great way to do what you're doing now, which is the operational support manager, and also the HR business and everything else. So we invited Donnie to talk about not only the Southwire, but the project called 12 for Life, and I think it's going to be something really exciting to as we go in the dialogue. So again, Donnie, welcome, and I want to thank you for making a presentation at the GRADD board, and a lot of interest about the 12 for South project. But before we go into that, for the audience, tell us about the Southwire and why it's one of the key industry in our region as well.
Great, thank you. Thank you for having me. Yes, Southwire is a family-owned business. Uniquely, we are the leading wire and cable manufacturer in North America.
I see.
And third in the world. And Southwire was founded by Roy Richards Jr. in 1937. Actually, he started the company to erecting power poles. Not doing transmission cable or anything that we know today, but he was actually just erecting the poles because he wanted to get electricity out to his mother's home. And after about 2 years of doing that, he run out of suppliers for electrical wire, so he decided to go in the business of making his own wire.
Wow.
Bought 3 used pieces of machinery and had about 12 employees, and started Southwire as we know it. And now Southwire has about 7,000 employees in North America, about 400 in the Kentucky plant, where we started up in 1969, and we operate 3 aluminum rod and cable mills. The rod mills are, as far as we know, we are the largest, have the largest capacity of aluminum rod under one roof anywhere in the entire world. Fortunately, we also operate a cable mill that produces bare transmission, most of the power that you'll see on overhead lines and things like that, and also some aluminum strip, which you'll see if you go into Lowe's or Home Depot or that kind of thing, and you look at the conduit around the wire. That came from, most of it will come from our plant there in Kentucky.
I know I think it was September, October, I had a delegation from Czech Republic, and I know we made a tour of your facility, and not only, you talked about the 12 for South project, 12 for Life project, but we also visited the, facility, and I was very much impressed in how automation, has gone into that, and some of it's hard work, and also more safety signs, and I know you guys have a tremendous record on safety as well. So
yeah, we're in the process of, hopefully this year we'll acquire VPP certification. So it's been a long and hard process, but we're nearly crossing the finish line.
So you have seen a lot of things change at that location, also the Southwire family as a whole, for the last 27 years or so. So tell us, why this, you guys are more into the heavy manufacturing for the cables and aluminum wires and everything else. It's amazing that, the CEOs and some of the leadership want to go beyond manufacturing and talk about the community, how can we help? So that kind of brought the 12 for Life, so kind of tell us about that.
Yeah, 12 for Life is a unique program that was founded and started there in Carrollton, Georgia. We actually have it in operation in 2 different facilities now, one in Carrollton, Georgia, and one in Florence, Alabama. The one in Carrollton, Georgia is much larger, but it started out of the need for Southwire recognizing that there was a high dropout rate in the county. One of the children of Roy Richards Jr. is now passed on now, and has wanted to look and see what can we do.
see.
We invest a lot of money in the community, but what can
Right,
we do to make a difference in these kids' life? And they come up with a 12 for Life idea of, and it's actually a facility where the kids, they go and work for 4 days, and they also attend school. Even at the work site there's teachers, there's a principal. It's an actual school site at the facility. So the students will work about 4 hours a day and go to school for 4 hours, and then they also have a chance for tutoring, mentorship, and things like that. We have started out with the first year we graduated 26 students, and now I think last year we graduated 196, and for a total since 2007 of about 1,124 students have graduated.
And many of them are either went back to college or even stayed with the Southwire or some other facility as a
Yes,
full-time
many.
employees.
We have several that have graduated and went on to work and become very productive employees at other Southwire facilities in the area or other businesses in the area. Even Southwire has really stressed and tried to get other businesses involved and in that community and other communities, and some of the students go on to work there, and some go on to attend college. And
Now, Donnie, many of us, even non-manufacturing facility like GRADD offices, many of us are used to having high school intern or the co-op program or the college intern. But what you guys are doing is a lot different than that. I mean, you guys providing support, not just, hey guys, spend 2 hours doing something here while you are not in school, but you guys provide support from all different directions.
yes, we do. It's 12 for Life is actually kind of a modified co-op program to where that it's not just the students are at the facility, but also the teachers, the principals. There's tutors, there's counselors. So many of the students, their entire day is spent there at the facility, while others only spend part of the day at the facility and attend classes after school. The schools bus them in to the 12 for Life Center, and and also come and get them. So it's really a full service where some students that is the school that they see. The teachers are at least the school provides the teachers through that, but Southwire has a say in the teachers and try to get the best of the best, because want the best opportunity for these kids to achieve success, and it takes the right type person to be able to do that, because many of these kids are in bad situations. Most kids that are going to drop out of high school is not because they just wake up one day and decide I don't want to go to school. Many of them have lives that are very difficult. Parents. There's a story of one young lady that touches my heart every time I talk about it or think about it. But she came home one day from school, and her parents were gone. No one was home, and she didn't know where they were at, and she sat there for several hours until she finally decided to go to a neighbor, and where it was later discovered that her parents had just decided they didn't want to be parents anymore, so they just left the community, and she was put into state care and that kind of thing. But when she reached 16, she was able to start. She was introduced to 12 for Life.
Oh, I see.
And she really thrived, and she actually worked. She went to school at 12 for Life, but worked at the water company there in Carrollton. And once she finished 12 for Life, her high school, she got her diploma. She went on to college and is now working at that same company. It's a great success. But
it is.
When you talk to those students and those kids, you see that each one of them has got some stories. Some of them may have their own children that they're trying to raise, and they have to decide. They have to make a choice of whether I'm going to go to work and provide for my child, or whether I'm going to go to school and get an education. And this 12 for Life gives them both. I can do both. It gives them hope.
And I think the good thing about this whole thing is that it is kind of common sense approach, utilizing the talents and the experience of the Southwire employees and the culture that you put together. Like you talked about, the biggest challenge that any business and industry these days we have is those basic soft skills, coming to work and staying in, attitude and all those kind of things. Now you provide that part, then rather than leave you guys and go back to the streets, but you have the schools come right to the industry. So, kind of, that's an excellent way. And plus, I think it sounds like, there's something that anybody can, replicate in their location too,
Yeah, it's one thing that Southwire wants to do is, one of the questions that I'm asked frequently is why don't we do this here in Kentucky? Why are we not doing this in Hallsville? Well, it takes a special kind of job to be able to do. I shouldn't say special, but a certain type jobs that can be done by students. We deal in molten aluminum and big finished good products. Or if you'll go into Lowe's or Home Depot and you'll see Southwire wire that's packaged into bundles. Most of that kind of stuff that you see there travels through the 12 for Life Center. That's the type work that they do. They do a lot of cutting wire to footage and packaging it, really needed. One of the neat things about it also is that 12 for Life is a big investment for Southwire, but the 12 for Life centers are self-sustaining. Meaning it's not just Southwire dumps a bunch of money into it and it doesn't turn a profit, because they self-sustain themselves. The kids do such a good job that it's profitable. It's profitable for Southwire to do, so it's self-sustaining, which should make it appealing for other businesses, because it's not something that you're just dumping money into and not seeing any gain out of it. And also, you got students, as you talked about, that we're able to get them in there and teach them some of these soft skills, for a better way of putting it. That you got to be here. If you don't come to work, if you don't meet this attendance criteria, you'll not be able to participate in the program. If you get into trouble, if you fight, you're not going to be able to participate. If you can't communicate with your fellow employees, you're not going to be successful. If you don't attend school, if you don't go to class, you don't work. So if you need that paycheck, you have to go to class also. You have to do your work. You have to pass. So it instills in them. It gives them an incentive, and instills in them that desire to finish, get their high school education. I think
that's why you guys call it 12 for Life. What they're going to learn, the skills, they're going to be for the lifetime.
Yeah, they can apply it for the rest of it. It's going to be a value. Not only do you got that 12 years of school, which is what the 12 is for, a minimum of getting your high school education, but you're learning skills that's you're going to value and be useful for you right now and the rest of your life.
And I think, again, it's not your selfish interest. That person not only going to work for Southwire, but you got train them to work anywhere and be a great productive employee. Now, I think it's also a good thing to point out that you mentioned before the show is that the intention is not to replace the existing workforce. This is not going to be, somebody watching, oh gosh, this is going to take over the job that I already have at the location. This is to provide the soft skills or the skills that does not replace existing employees.
It's very much so. That was from the very beginning one of the commitments that Southwire made to their employees, that they would not take away any jobs that from any current employees. But these jobs that the kids do are the less desirable jobs. The jobs that nobody wants, and it's the person that comes in off the street. Is the very, very bottom paying jobs. And so they're not jobs that our employees want.
So this will not only get the job from and it also gets added benefit, for the employee. Now, we got about 30 some seconds left. Can you mention also that Southwire does a lot of giving back efforts, not just this 12 for South, 12 for Life. I don't know why I call it 12 for South. But there is a lot of things you guys do for the community. Can you give some examples of what you guys do in the Hallsville area or the GRADD region?
Well, last year we, as a plant, we gave over 600 hours of giving back from our employees out in the community. That ranges from doing stuff at the local schools. We did things, we do a lot of project gift events. One of them was a Kids Quest, where some of our employees went in and worked with the kids during the day, helping them with electronics, learning how to use computers, learning how to surf on the internet. We invested a lot of money into that. We had about $25,000 that we invested into our local community last year through Junior Achievement.
That's excellent.
We do an intern program at our facility where students from Hancock County High School come in, and if they have a desire to be an engineer, then we'll place them with an engineer. If they desire to be an HR, we'll place them with an HR person, that type stuff.
That sounds so great. Not only what you do for the community, but also the 12 for Life is an excellent program. And hopefully, you going on the circuit of talking about the 12 for Life and a lot of interest, maybe we will see if not in Southwire in Kentucky, I think we maybe even see some other industries in our region that would at least take that approach and hopefully get that the young kids who are lost in their life to maybe find a reason to be a great productive citizen.
Yes.
Donnie, I want to thank you very much, and good luck again, for the 12 for Life, and also at the Southwire, and always nice to see you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Again, thank you for watching GRADD Dialogue. We've been talking to Donnie Sanders. We've been talking about the 12 for Life project through Southwire, and also what Southwire means to us in our region. And if you have any questions or comments, please give me a call at the GRADD office. Thank you. Hello, and welcome to the GRADD Dialogue, and I'm so honored, to have as my guest none other than Woody Maglinger. Woody has a lot to do with the show that we are doing now, and actually a lot to do what we do at the GRADD. So Woody Maglinger has been with GRADD for, I guess, 15 years now.
Yes.
And he joined in 2001, and he was our GIS and GPS mapping technician. Who would have thought the mapping technician become a communication director? He spent 5 years as a public administration specialist, which is dealing with all the cities and counties and their employees and elected officials. Done an excellent job there, and I kind of decided that I think it's time that we take our communication and public relations effort in a higher gear. So I asked him to become our first and so far first and only communication director for GRADD. And even though he manages everything for us, I wanted him to, on the GRADD Dialogue, talk about not only what we do in communication, but also some of the new initiatives. So, Woody, welcome. And I would also like to say that honored to say that you joined the rank with me as the one of the few from Owensboro area who became the Leadership Kentucky graduate.
Yes.
You took the class this past year, and honored that you've been graduate with Leadership Kentucky, which is a great honor, because it's a few and far between, when you go to the statewide leadership, programs. I'm so proud that you did that. Woody has been a fifth generation Davis Countyan, and married to his wife Leanne, and two lovely children, Hope and Will. So that's in case somebody wonders, who's this Woody Maglinger? Woody, let's talk about, I know we're going to talk about the surplus property network, but before we do that, for the audience, I think there's always a challenge. After this many years for me at GRADD, people still ask, what GRADD does. And I think, we take pride, and we've been recognized, all over as far as all the things we do at GRADD, and in our efforts in communication too. But still, people have challenge, what is GRADD. So just tell us about, what we do at GRADD in terms of, getting the message out, some of the tools in our bag to really tell the audience and the community what we do. So tell us that, and then we can talk about specific issues.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me today, Jiten.
Sure.
One of the challenges, as you pointed out, about our agency is we do a lot of great things, but we touch a lot of different areas of people's lives. And so what we've tried to do through this communications position is let people know what programs specifically impact them, and if they're interested in seeing the big scope of GRADD, they can do that as well. And some of the tools that we have used, we've really ramped up our GRADD.com, our main website presence, where folks can go on there, find out what's going on in the region. They can also get great resources if they're wanting to look at an aging report and find out about demographics, or whether there's someone looking into the workforce wanting to get links to that and see what jobs are projected to be popular in the future. They can get a variety of resources on our GRADD website. And then about 5 years ago, we launched a whole host of social media sites, and I know we're kind of on the front end of that phase, as I'm sure you've heard many times people say, oh, that's just going to be a fad. But as we know now, many government agencies use Facebook and Twitter. We are on both of those. We thankfully have around 1,200 social media followers on both Facebook and Twitter, and folks can follow us daily to find out what's going on at GRADD. Again, find great resources. If maybe they're wanting to get involved in their communities, there's ways to link to that as well. And just in the past year, we also launched an Instagram page where folks can see the photos, some of the cool events in the area and some of the speakers that we have, and see some events going on like that. We have a YouTube channel with some valuable resources in there. People can go on there and watch anything from our GRADD board meetings, highlights from those with our really interesting speakers. They can look at news clips from different projects GRADD's involved in, and they can also find out just things, whether the legislators are making decisions on something that impacts them.
Now, talking about the legislators, and I know that since the last General Assembly and this current General Assembly, there has been some efforts by some legislators, not in our region, but statewide in the central part. So, about the transparency issue on the ad districts, that they feel like people that we are not transparent, we don't do anything that is publicly welcome and all that. So, maybe tell the audience as far as what do we do that shows that transparency, challenge that that we are facing in Frankfurt right now.
Right, that's a great point, Jiten. I know as government funds increasingly become tighter and tighter, that it's even more important for us to be transparent and open with everything we do, whether it's meetings or records. And we've really tried to be a leader in that area as well and put essentially anything out there for the public to view. In fact, if there's a meeting, we try to within 24 hours have all that information up so that folks can go and see the minutes from that. The same with any sort of audit reports, financials, those sort of things. Because we know that one of the key components of being a government agency is to be transparent and to be open with our citizens since there's taxpayer money involved. And so we want them to be able to find that either on our website. We have a great new platform we just launched at the end of 2015, our mobile app, which I know you were very excited and a driving force behind that, on the App Store and also on Google Play that folks can go look at. And with that, you can track pretty much anything you want that's going on in our 7-county region. And you're right, transparency is definitely something that we want to strive for and get that out.
So let's kind of break it apart. You in the website was the first attempt, and I think that one, by the way, did a tremendous job.
Thanks.
And I think that continuously tells folks what is coming up at the next board meeting, what some of the key issues happening. They can also go on to find out the GRADD board meeting minutes, audit report, our budget. What else they can find?
One of the big things, Jiten, that people, I know, contact me, and I'm sure you too, is looking for their local officials. Now, maybe not their mayor or judge, they know them, but how can I get in touch with my state representative, or who is the person at the state level who handles this? And both on our website and our app, we love to kind of aggregate that information, and we like to say on our app that on one click of a button, you can contact someone either in the region, the state, or federal level, because I know if you go through the ever-shrinking yellow pages and try and find that, or even online, there's a lot of disconnected information, and we like to categorize that so people can find their representatives really easily, and that's one of the big uses we get.
But I think, isn't that the mission to be more open? Because if people do not know what we do, nobody's going to ask us for the service. And if they're asked for the service, we can't bring the project in town. And if we can't bring the project, then there is no money for us to hire the staff. So it's kind of, it should be our mission to be more open and welcoming to the point. Hey, tell us, what can we do? And I think the one thing that you put together on that, which is kind of unique as well, is a who to call guide.
Yes.
And tell us about what is a who to call guide.
The who to call guide arose from this issue that you're talking about, where when people contacted GRADD, it was the old proverb, I guess, of drinking from a water fountain, a water hydrant sometime, where it's just so much information that we want it, if it's a family member or a loved one who's wanting to find out about Meals on Wheels for their mother or grandmother or grandfather, we wanted to put that on there so they could find that easily and know who to contact. But at the same time, if there's someone who's interested in Interstate 565 and what's going on with transportation issues, they could also get that set of information and find out which person at GRADD to contact, and make it a little easier to navigate, because one of the challenges with having such a large, wide-ranging agency is finding who you're wanting to talk to, and we wanted to make that as easy as possible for our...
Now, when we talk about transparency, we're talking about connecting with the people we work with, which is elected officials in 7 counties and 27 cities or so. Which we do that on regular meetings and emails and everything else, and board meetings and all those things. Then the citizens, so you talk about a lot of things, but all those things kind of ties with the common thread of media. So how do you keep the media involved? How do you keep the media, to work with you, being our communication director?
Yes. I'll have to say that our local media here in the area, including not just 7 counties, but even out of the Evansville market, which covers a lot of our district, if not all of it, have been great to work with, because I attempt to obviously do the traditional media releases and media alerts to let them know when an event or a project is going on. But I'll have to say that they are great also if there's a national story, such as they find out there's going to be a federal program cut, and they'll contact us because of that relationship and say, you know, how is that going to impact people in your region, and actually talk to some of our decision makers here in the 7 county region. So it's a very much a blessing with the media we have here.
That's great, and I'm proud of the relation that you have. Is that, you know, it kind of goes both ways, like you said. You know, they need us and we need them too. You know,
Yes.
so yeah.
Yes.
Now let's go back to the newest initiative that you know, you announced at the board meeting. The GRADD Surplus Property Network. Tell us about what is that?
Absolutely. The GRADD Surplus Property Network arose from discussions I know that yourself and the other leaders at GRADD had with some of our local officials, particularly our cities and counties, that as from time to time they're looking to purchase things, we're also wanting to see if there were other cities and counties that were in the same boat. As you mentioned, we cover a wide area, have 7 counties, 27 cities, and so many of the things we do overlap, whether you're talking about a large county like Davis with 100,000 population, or Hancock or McLean with 10,000, there's still similarities through the road departments and parks and solid waste and different things. And we knew that there was a need out there, and so we wanted to launch this online forum where those government agencies could go on and look around and say, you know, maybe this city could help me and I could purchase some of their equipment, or vice versa. They could also have surplus themselves and advertise that for another city or county to take in.
So that's one way to even like for us, you know, GRADD, you know, some of the stuff that we have, rather than selling, you know, see if there's some that would help any local communities and all those things, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's very wide ranging. This can be anything from vehicles. I know one of the first things we put on there was some of the surplus vehicles that GRADD had no longer use for, and so we wanted to advertise those out the proper way to do that. And then at the same time, it could be something as small as filing cabinets, computer equipment, you name it, road salt in the wintertime, different things like that that cities have extra.
Now, you know, I mean, some of my colleagues would tell me that, you know, God, there's too much information you guys are doing, and how do you know, measure the value of, is it making a difference, you know, and getting the message out? So how would you answer that, you know?
What I would say is we do have a lot of venues to put information out. However, one of the key strategies that we've implemented is to monitor that information that's going out, as far as how it's effective and if it's being viewed, what maybe people are interested in, what they are not. We're really invested in analytics, and a lot of that is free through platforms like Google, and even through our app. There's some things where you can see, okay, maybe this is not a subject that people are interested in, but oh, by the way, a lot of folks are interested in this particular thing that's going on right now in government. And so we kind of gauge it that way, and as you mentioned earlier, it's kind of a give and take both directions, so we're not wasting people's time, because we know that when folks flip on our website, that they're busy people, they have a lot of other things going on. We want them to be able to find things very quickly and not waste their time with having to go through 7 or 8 layers to get where they're looking for.
And I think you can also provide the whole smorgasbord of tools, because some people may not want to be using all of them. They may only use maybe your Facebook, only the Twitter, you know, so they can get information that doesn't have to go through every one of them. And the app, you know, the app is the newest one. And I do want to mention that, you know, I like that in the last previous annual banquets and some of the events, you had stressed people using the smartphones, so voting on different things and texting on different things to see what the different opinions are on different issues. So that kind of got them into the using the app, telephone and the GRADD work together. So that, you know, that the newest one, you talk about the app. Can you tell us about app, and is it how is the response going on those?
Sure. We've had really good luck. We launched it at our annual dinner, as you said, last year, and then throughout this spring, we've continued to advertise for that, and we've gotten a lot of folks that have downloaded their phone, not just necessarily our local officials, but even citizens that I've talked to out in the communities who have downloaded it. And just as you mentioned, not everybody gets information the same way, and so we want to put the information in the easiest form possible. So if someone's wanting to go, as we mentioned earlier, earlier with the local officials to contact, instead of having to run back to their desktop computer or get on Google, we want them just through our GRADD app to be able, with one click, be able to click on the person they want to talk to, and they can also email them, look on that website of that agency, but kind of a one-stop shop is our idea behind it.
That's a great, purpose and a mission to have one-stop shop to know what is GRADD all about, how can we help, and everything else. Woody, I want to thank you for being our communication director, and I'm so proud that you are always on the cutting edge, to send the GRADD stories out, a GRADD message out. I want to wish you best of luck, and hopefully we can do many more things as a technology change and the people's way of having a daily life change too. So I want to thank you.
Thank you.
I've been talking to Woody Maglinger, the GRADD's communication director, about what does GRADD do for communication tools. And if you have any questions or want to find out some of the things, you can always contact Woody or myself at the GRADD office. Thank you very much.